And place the hands in front of you. We're gonna gently move the pelvis forwards and backwards. Okay, let's go for a few more in opposite direction. Awesome. And last one. And we pausing 4-point kneeling. Okay, if you have a block, go for a block and place your right kneecap on the block. You start rotating the hips and you're holding your plank. So a little bit of elevation and we're rotating. So imagine your thigh bone or kneecap is already connected with the block. If you don't have a block, use a pillow or a blanket. You want to comfortably rotate, standing the right foot inside of your right foot forwards, and then you rotate in the other direction internally. Now be very mindful that it's just that swivel of the hip like this, right? External, internal is this way, internal rotation, external rotation. So yes, we bearing weight on the hands, but not as much obviously because your right knee is down and your left heel is lifted, but your left toes are down. So this is how it looks like. Your knee stays below your hip and you're doing your best to pivot. Axial rotations for the hips. We'll be kind of focusing on this sort of movement a lot today. And from here, pause your knee on that block or on that elevation. Pull your right heel to the butt cheek and float your pelvis. Hold 3, 2, 1. Lower your knee. Go again. Push down through the hands. Float your kneecap. Hold 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee one more time. Push down through the hands and the right kneecap off the floor. Hold 3, 2, 1. Knee down and switch. So if you have a block that is not comfortable for the knee, put a blanket on it, okay? Or simply just use a blanket or something else below the knee. You want to pivot so then you can comfortably slide, okay? And again, look how I'm positioning my hands wide at the shoulders. And rather than sinking, I want you to integrate. Brace. It's almost like you're about to lift. And then you're rotating externally. So top of the thigh bone rotates away from the body this way. And then internally. And again, careful here. I do not want you to move your pelvis. Your pelvis stays the same. Please notice how far you're moving that thigh bone. How far do you rotate from neutral? How far to the right? How far to the left? How far into internal rotation? How far into external rotation? Because again, rotation tells us a lot. Active rotation, I should say, tells us a lot about how healthy the joint is and how much space there is in a capsule, which is again pretty much the deepest levels of the joint. Rotate. You could literally place a tray with drinks on top of your lower back and your spine would not move. Okay, you want to get stronger and stronger in this sort of setup. Hold, wrist below the shoulders, and we float the kneecap 3 times. Try to pull your heel to the butt cheek so hamstrings engage. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Go again. Push down through the hands. Push. Load the knee. 3, 2, 1. Knee down. Breath in. Last one. Push, push. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Hold 3, 2, and 1. Knee goes down. And let's sit up. Sit up. And we're going into the 1990. Okay, the best way to sort of prepare the hips. We pivot on the right sit bone. Feel free to go with one leg then the other. And feel free to use the floor support. And then lean forwards over your right leg. You're trying to find external rotation. Maybe you will also the stretch in your right butt cheek. You're not staying here for long because again, we've got work to do. Lift the chest and slowly return. You can lean back if, for instance, hips feel really rigid. But if you can, because you've been doing it for a while, you feel okay sitting tall, then off you go. Use the hands if needed and fold over your left leg. Again, look for the stretch in your butt cheek. And then push down and lift. And we're just gonna go for a couple more each way. Make it really just gonna smooth. Feel free to touch the ground or hands to the body. And you're doing a forward fold. If you need to soften your knee more and pull your heel to the pubic bone a little bit more, that's okay. But remember, we're trying to stay as close to 90 degrees as possible. Lean back if needed, and legs move together. Rotate within the hip socket. You may feel like you're traveling forward, so hopefully you've got room. Stay. And then push down to the left leg. Bring yourself back. So it's again, the whole pelvis is traveling. We're trying to drop the right sit bone to the floor. And we're going over to the other side. And again, lengthen the body. And we're tilting the pelvis over the leg. Push, push, push. And return. Up. Sit tall. Pivot on the heel. Sneak up to the ceiling. Again, you may need to lean back. Don't force it. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. We need to adapt. Okay, fold over your left leg. And then from here, return. Okay, back to center. We're gonna go onto your side, and you would like a pillow or soft block or a blanket below your rib cage, and we want something below your head. Got a couple of blocks. That's always useful. I would suggest something soft below your rib cage when you're going on your side. We are working with the hip, and we're starting with cars, only axial rotation. So, and again, nothing new, but no negotiables. Clasp your hands. Look how I'm setting my knees and hips in 90 degrees. We're working the top leg into chest, abduct and hold. Send your foot back, rotate your hip internally. We want to pause here, tug the tailbone more, and then send your thigh bone backwards, heel come to the sit bone, lower your leg. Send the thigh bone backwards, upwards, and then top of the thigh bone rotates externally, and then you lower the heel, knee goes up. And we go again, up, open. So this is where you are, abducted hip. From here, heel travels backwards. Notice that I'm not dropping the knee. I'm not letting this happen. Open, align your knee and ankle. And then as you're going back, pull your heel to the butt cheek without leaning backwards or opening the chest. Close your ribs. Going back and up. And then you're trying to drive your heel downwards. Knee up the ceiling. Give me a couple more. Up. Again, I'm not staying for very long with those warm-ups. Heel to the butt cheek, knee to ceiling. Again, keep your trunk super still. So in those 4 repetitions, you do all the warm-up you need. Rotate. Thigh bone goes back. Heel to the butt cheek. Your lower leg is pushing down. And from here, slowly return. Now, I will need you to use something between your knees. I'm going to use that brick here. You want something, again, solid, okay? Box or block, so we can focus on rotating internally. Hips in 90 degrees, and your top thigh bone rotates to the ground. Heel to ceiling, and then we're going to drop a little bit, inch down, and then contract. Push your bottom leg down, so it's like you're trying to separate your feet. Clasp your hands here, or push into the ground, and then drop an inch. We're going up again. Squeeze it. The front of your hip and slightly to the side. That's where the glute medius is. Lower slightly and lift. Up, up, up. Lower slightly, lift. 5. Keep contracting. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower slightly and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower slightly and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down and lift. Last one. The hip is not hiking, okay? You do not want to move that area. Just rotate the ceiling. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2. We pulsing up, up, up. And look how tiny it is. I'm not even wasting my time going halfway down or 1/3 down. Nothing. You just inch up, inch down. 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower down. Okay. So we're just priming internal rotation. Now slide your feet back a little bit. Float your heels and open your knees. You're going into external rotation. You're trying to connect your heels, separate your toes. Use your top hand and push onto the bottom, onto the top leg. Your hand is pushing the leg down, leg is resisting. We're going halfway. Open, squeeze, push against the hand, and then lower. And then squeeze the butt cheek and open the knees. Again, this is all rehab for the hips, strengthening. The harder you push down, the harder it will be. But bear in mind, it's one of the first rotations we're doing. We'll have harder positions in a moment. Open and then close. Push your leg up, hand is resisting, open nicely. As far as you can. Notice how the heels are in space, but the lower leg is on the floor. Obviously, with the hand, it will be harder to open to the max, but you're still doing your best. Lower down. Let's go for a couple more reps. Lift. And then lower. Slightly. 1/3, half maybe. But we're not closing the knees. Open and hold. Tiny squeezes here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Open. Now, keep your thigh as it is. Straighten the leg. We're going to go for 5 extensions. Open. Bring it back. Keep your thigh bone as it is. Straighten the knee. Bring it back. 3 more. Bring it back. And it's only top leg working, right? There's a top leg moving. The work is also in the bottom leg. 2 more. Kneecap pointing exactly in the same direction. And last one. Bring it back and close. Relax. Okay, and we will be doing this whole thing, but on the other side. Again, support your rib cage, support your head. You want your ribs to be on something soft, and rest your head. Have that block or another box or pillow nearby so you can have something between your knees soon. Now, clasp your hands, and we're going with knees at 90 degrees. Starting position is pretty much having your hips, knees aligned with the hips. Pull your top knee to chest, reflexing the hip, sending the knee to ceiling, open, open, and then send your heel backwards. Thigh bone rotates internally. Tag the tailbone, heel to the butt cheek, and just lower the knee to the hip level. Nothing, absolutely nothing is changing in the position of your upper body. Open those knees, rotate from the hip. Heel will dive, kneecap to ceiling. So you're preparing for a clamp. Open. Thighs apart. Rotate. That's the second repetition. Again, focus on this transition. That's a transition from sort of neutral to internal rotation. Heel to the butt cheek, knee down. We're going backwards and then upwards. Like your leg goes forwards, up and back, kind of in the rainbow shape. Again, open. Squeeze, belly tight. Rib cage pushing into this object below. Heel to the butt cheek, go again. Open, thighs apart. Lower the heel, lift the knee, or rotate the thigh bone. Last repetition. Bottom leg pushing towards the floor. And again, put all the energy you've got into stabilizing your trunk. So hip is doing what it's supposed to. Lower back is not taking part. Good. And then bring your knees together. Place some object, block or box, okay? We do not really want to squeeze something soft. So then your knees stay sort of level with the hips, and then we flexing the ankle, look hump, pulling the toes to the kneecaps, and we rotating internally. Do not let this whole pelvis move because that's not hip. You want to be quite honest. Also try to have your knees in front of the hips rather than working from here. It's not bad, but here it's a little bit stronger stimulus for your glute medius. And again, we drop a little, we squeeze and hold. Bottom leg is pushing down, top leg is pushing up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower slightly and squeeze. 5. Keep squeezing. You want to get to the point where maybe it's cramping. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower, lift. The drop is so small and so quick. Keep squeezing. Lower lift. This is where the work is, right? If you use your thumb or finger, you should feel the contraction. Lower lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower lift. Hold it. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Squeeze harder. Lower lift one more time. Hold it. And we're going to carry on with tiny pulses. Up, up, up. Okay? It's all about just feeling a bit of fatigue in the area because we're going to go into 90-90 with a deeper internal rotation in a moment. Give me one more pulse and then lower your foot. Okay, we're doing the other side of the joint. Slide your feet back. Close your heels. Toes to the kneecaps, dorsiflexion so-called. Separate your thigh bones. Your lower leg is on the ground. Okay, knees apart. Use your top hand and try to close the legs. The top leg will be resisting, right? There's tug of war is happening there. And then we're closing halfway, and then leg is winning, pushing the hand away. Hand is pushing down, leg is resisting, leg is pushing up, hand is resisting. And it's like that. Backwards, working in an open position. We do not waste time closing the knees. We already have strength there. We spend there our whole day with knees together. No need to go there at this point. You want your thighs apart. Hand obviously is doing a lot of work pushing downwards. Lower lift. Lower lift. Lower lift. Couple more. And then open and hold it. You're gonna go for tiny pulses. Out. Up. And again, you want to open to the mat and just pulse inch off the edge. Down, up. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Open, hold it. Now, thigh bone stays as it is. You keep squeezing from external rotators. Extend the knee. Bend the knee. Straighten the leg. Notice how the thigh bone is not changing position. The center of the thigh bone points up here, and I'm going to keep this external rotation. The work is in the hip. The extension of the knees is the least of your concern. It's probably the smallest challenge at this point. You're trying to keep position of the thigh bone the same. Last one. Extend the knee. Bend the knee. Open. Hold. All right, so that's it for that hip. We're going up into a side plank.